housekeeping rules and things. So first of all, I mean, everyone probably knows me here, but on camera. So the things that we'll go over today and start to build upon are things that over the last 16 years, these aren't my things. These are things that I've learned from having the luck to be able to train with people that were in mixed martial arts, fighting at an Australian level, being able to train with people that have been in the UFC and in Pride, and gone to seminars and had time with them on the mats and training and things like that, and picking up bits and pieces from a gym that was active in MMA when years ago when it first started sort of coming up, and getting time with people that have been in that environment, and some high level guys as well, up to that, like I mentioned, sort of UFC Pride level. So these are not things that, I'm not an MMA fighter, but I teach you things that I've picked up, that I've learned over the years, that I've taught other people, that are the fundamentals, a lot of fundamental basic stuff. So what we'll try to do is start to build a foundation of what it's like when we have striking involved, how to safely manage the clinch, manage the distance, manage the damage, both on the ground and standing up and against walls, things like this. So when you partner up today, try to partner with someone that's roughly your size. Because when we talk about MMA, we're talking about weight classes and things. Of course, some of the things that you're learning here can be applied to outside of it, in like a street situation, like a self-defense situation. How to manage the distance, manage the damage safely. And a lot of things that I'll talk about will be sort of like seminar style, where it's not so much reps and drilling and moves, but a lot of it's fundamentals and kind of general rules of thumb and things like this to stay safe when we're in a fight type of situation, or even in that MMA type of situation. So what I'll do, because we might end up doing a little bit of takedowns and things, I'm not sure how familiar people are, everyone is, I see a lot of familiar faces and things, but learning how to take each other down safely and minimize any damage to our training partners. So general rule today, if you're taking someone down, then it is your job to take care of everyone else around you. If you can see that you are going to take someone down into another set of people, it's your job not to do that takedown right there. So you have a duty of care of everyone around you when you're doing a move. Okay? Pull out of the move if you're going to crash into someone else. So that's one thing. Another thing, avoid the temptation to stick your arms out and stop yourself from falling. That's how injuries happen. We hurt our elbows, we hurt our wrists and things like that. Just accept and break your fall. Yeah? Hit the ground, break your fall. Alright? So what we'll do is, I'll get everyone off the wall quickly, and we're just going to do a couple of break falls, what we call a break fall. So when you fall, you want to disperse the force of the fall through your body. So if we're falling like this, yeah, I just want to break my fall by hitting the mat and dispersing the force of the throw out through my arms. And this is true even on concrete. It's better to do this than stick your arm out and dislocate your elbow, dislocate your shoulder, all that force going through you. And even you see this at the most highest levels in judo, in jiu-jitsu, even in mixed martial arts. Guys put their arms out to stop themselves and they end up popping their elbows, and that's it, fight over. Even at the highest levels. You've seen it a couple times last year, even in the UFC. Guys pop stuff out and injure themselves. So avoid that temptation. So let's do a couple of break falls. We're going to do 5 back break falls. Tuck your chin. Don't let your head slam the mat. We're going to fall backwards and break our falls like so. Ready? 1. Yep. 2. So today, to start to build a foundation in mixed martial arts, when striking and punches are involved, we need to start to change our mindset a little bit. Today we'll be looking at some fundamentals in distance management when we're talking about striking. So, first things first, when we're in jiu-jitsu, no gi or gi, we tend to stand like this. Or even in wrestling, you see this. People have this low stance, their feet are close together, maybe sometimes just a little bit staggered. That is so we can get in under, take our opponent down, things like this. And in kickboxing, we tend to stand very upright like this. we're fighting here. Boom. Okay, so in mixed martial arts, we want to sort of have a mixture of both. Because we don't want to be too upright and fighting like we're in kickboxing, because if you stay, yeah, exactly, right? He's just going to take me down. He's going to get straight in underneath me and take me down. But at the same time, we don't want to be too low, because he's just going to kick me in the face, knee me in the face. So our stance in MMA is relaxed, knees bent, and a little bit of our center of gravity down. That's just a general rule. There's exceptions to the rule. You see guys like Wonderboy Thompson, they're these karate guys, and they sit there and do this with that here, and then diving in. But in general, we just relax, hands up, elbows down, square, and I sink into my stomach a little bit. My center of gravity's down. So I can be fighting, I can be sprawling to stop that takedown and moving around. Yeah, we don't want to be upright, and we don't want to be down here. So it's like in between. Okay, so that's just a general rule of thumb. What we look at today is getting from, this is a danger zone, right here. I can be knocked out. This is safe. Punch me in the face. Can't punch me. Okay, this is danger zone. This is safe. Okay, this is like being in the eye of the storm, like in the middle of the tornado. Very hard to knock someone out when they're cuddling you like this. Very hard. So we want to go from this to this, or this, in a safe way. So what do we have at our disposal? Let's look at this from orthodox. Okay, so my right side is backwards because that's my power side. His right side is backwards, that's his power side. We'll have a look at southpaw in a moment. Okay, so super simple start. We're sort of at jabbing range here, and I measure that. I measure that by my jab. I know if I can touch his hand, he's only one step away. Step one in one time towards me. Throw your right hand. He's only one step away from being able to knock me out. Okay, so if my jab can touch his hand, I know if he takes one step, he can knock me out. Okay? So if I'm throwing out the jab and I'm touching his hand, if he takes a step, I take a step back. I'm managing the distance, managing the damage. If I'm a grappler, I want to get in close. So what we do with this little drill, and you will do this now in lines, is we're going to start from here. I'm going to throw a jab. It's going to touch my opponent's hand. I want to be in that range. If I'm out here, I'm too far. I want to be in here. Okay? I measure that distance. I know if I touch, he's only one step away from being able to knock me out. So when I measure and touch, my opponent steps forward. I'm going to step backwards. Okay? I measure again. He steps forward, I'm going to step backwards. So then what we want is we're kind of baiting them to come forwards. And you see this all the time. I'm just feeling them out. I'm baiting them to come forwards. I'm going to step backwards, they're going to come forwards. I'm going to step back, they're going to come forwards. Timing is everything. I'm going to time it so that I'm going to go forwards. When he goes forwards, we're going to meet in the middle. Okay? This is another huge thing in fighting and MMA. Timing is everything. So the drill is something like this. I jab, he walks forward, I step back. I jab, he walks forward, I step back. I jab, he goes forward, I'm going to change levels. We're going to crash in the middle. So I change levels at my knees. Keep my back nice and straight, okay? So as they step forward, I'm gonna step forward, I'm gonna drive in underneath, catch here. I don't wanna catch like this, that's how you get guillotine. So you can guillotine, and he will choke me. I don't wanna bend at my back. I wanna bend at my knees and get in underneath, okay? Staying on my feet for this takedown. It's not like a wrestling penetration step where you come in and go under here. We're staying on our feet for this one so that we can drive. So what we do when he steps forward, I go in and under. I can even throw a jab on my way here. Okay, I'm going to drive by picking up. I block this leg and I run them that way. Okay, so I'm picking up one leg and I'm driving. So we're here. This is the drill, and we do it in a line. On a jab, steps. A jab, he steps. Okay, I'm gonna jab, he steps, I jab, go. In. Okay? So I change levels at my waist. If he steps forward, I can go up, I kind of fake that jab, come in, and I'm gonna try and drive on that diagonal. I lift this leg and drive. Okay? I show you why that takedown works. So, now, don't fall down. If I'm driving this way, okay, you can hop. If I block that hop, he goes down. So it's kind of like I'm in, I'm connected, stepping up, and driving. So that's the drill. It's like a little meet in the middle. And you all line up along the mats like this. We have a lot of people. So this is the game. If I'm here, I'm too far out. I need to be about here. Low and in my stance. I'm gonna jab, he steps. Jab, he steps. I'm gonna jab, I jab. Okay? We're meeting in the middle. All about timing. Let's do that. Make sure you change levels at your knees, not your back. Come in, drive, step up. Yeah, let's do that. All at this time. Yes. So now we have a much more difficult or different situation. Not difficult, just different. In this case, I can't hit the double leg from my stance because if I go in, like I did before, stand this way so we can see. When I go in on a double leg, I want my head on the outside. Or my head on the outside. So that I can guide them with my head, I can take the back, whatever it is. In an orthodox versus southpaw or unorthodox situation, if I go in, normally, and now my head is on the inside. If I try to put my head on the outside, I'm all crossed up and kind of weird. It would be like boxing with your right foot forward and then your right side back, so you're all kind of twisted. It doesn't make sense. It'd be like trying to box like this. Doesn't make sense. So now we need to get ourselves into a single leg. You can change that into a double leg, but you need to get in on a single leg entry. So this is where you need to know about fundamentals of orthodox versus southpaw striking. So just get your head around this. Now, let's stand this way so that people can see. Okay, the battle with this is whoever has the outside foot wins. Whoever has their foot outside the other wins. That's the game. Because if I'm inside here, all of my right hand, all of my rear hand attacks are very far away from my opponent. If I'm inside here, I have to travel all of this distance to get up to knee, to punch, to kick. If my foot is on the outside, look how different that is. I can even elbow here. I'm so much closer. Okay, even when I'm out far. The distance now changes a lot. I've got this distance now for my power attacks here, or my right hand. Now look at the difference. I'm so much further away. So the battle becomes, when it's orthodox versus southpaw, is this kind of game where I step this way and he steps. Yeah, that becomes the game. Of course, there is exceptions to the rule. I might step back the other way. If he steps over here, I might step back the other way to set up like a head kick or something. Okay? But this is when you start to get better and you start to get to know things. Or I step out here, he steps out, he tries to step outside of me, and I come back with this left hand and then turn it into a double. A zigzag takedown. That's when I start to get a bit more advanced. Let's keep it simple for now. So, the game is now this. We're going to stand here. We're going to be about jab distance apart. I'm going to step outside. They're going to step outside. Okay? We're about jab distance. I'm going to step out. They're going to step out. On my next step, okay, I'm going to throw a right hand because that allows me to get in. Allows me to get in with this. So even if I'm quite far out, I'm even outside of jab range. One step. As I step, I throw this right hand, which allows me to then get in on the single. Okay. So you'll even see this in the UFC. Guys do these ones. They show these big overhand rights that this one's reaching. Because it gets them, they throw like a big overhand hook. Boom. And then they're down here already grabbing this, and it's like that. Dan Henderson, famous wrestler in the UFC, he does that a lot. Justin Gage, he does this a lot. You watch their fights. So this right hand allows me to then enter in on the single. And I'm driving with my head and picking it up and just holding here with my hands connected. Okay, so that's the game now. The drill is like this. We're here, we're about jab distance apart, I can still measure it. This time we're going this way down the mat. I step outside, he tries to beat me. I step outside, he tries to beat me. On my next step, I'm going to step and throw, but it's not that much. It's only like a little step. Can be a big balled out hook, can be a straight. He'll give me a little target. This one, yeah, this one. So your right hand. I'm going to come here, boom, getting on this. Okay. So it's like I'm here, like a little step, boom. And I use that, so I'm already down. And I use that to snatch their leg. And I use my head to drive them back. So we're here. We're here, about here. I step. He steps. I step and go. Here. We're getting on that. So if you're this guy now, you can give a little bit of a target. We can throw our right hand, change our level, and that's going to allow us to drive through and snatch the single. Okay? Let's do that. That's new to many people. Let's look at this. Let's look up. Let's look at this. Not look up. Let's look at using kicks and punches to set up a single leg. But this time, orthodox situation. So back to like it was before. And we're going to set up being able to get in like this and get a single. Remember what I said? In this situation, it's usually doubles or getting into clinches. Yeah? Okay? We need this situation to hit a single leg. So we need like a mirror between us, and my foot is close to his foot. But if they're an orthodox fighter, it means I have to change to southpaw. So this is my power side, my good side. Yeah, some people may be southpaws or orthodox here, you can just change around. Okay, but I need to go into this configuration here. Yeah, like a southpaw, unorthodox. My left side becomes my rear side, becomes my strong side. Let's look how we set it up. So we're going to stay orthodox, all right? We're going to set this up from here. So what I'm going to do is throw what we call a little switch kick. So this would be a normal kick, just like a round kick. Boom, on the thigh. Yeah? Coming from my rear side. Boom. Okay? This would be a switch. Switch and kick. Yeah, I was here, I did a little switch and I kicked. Alright, so with the switching of the kicks, we go switch. I want my toes, this is my support leg, this is my kick leg. Supporting me, kicking. I want my support leg toes a little bit outside. Remember what I said, that's the battle. I want to step just outside and I want my toes facing 45 degrees away from my opponent. Okay? So when you switch, you already want to just have your toes facing slightly out, and then you're coming over then you're on the ball of your foot and you're rotating on that, okay, and coming back. So that when you kick the person, your toes are actually almost facing all the way away. So the connection is there, so your toes are almost facing the other way. We do that to allow our hip to come over, because our hip drives the kick. If your hip can come over, that's how you get a lot of force through your kicks. Okay? If I don't point my toes away, if my foot stays, How does my hip come over and my foot finish over here? I can't do it. It looks weird. So you need, if your foot doesn't rotate, yeah, okay, your foot needs to rotate so that you can kick through the person. And the further your knee finishes past your target, the more power goes through the kick, okay? I'll give you a quick example. So if my knee finishes, this is just about fundamental stuff right now. I go off on these tangents, but this is stuff that's good for you to learn. If my knee finishes, if this is my target, the further my knee finishes past my target, the way more power goes through the target. So if I finish with my knee past here, I've got all of this that can go through the person. Just blasting their knee, just obliterating their quad. If my knee finishes out here, it's nothing. Yeah? All the power is gone. So you see this with like karate guys. They do these little, you know, and there's no power. If you can get them right on the chin and knock them out, okay, that's good. But you see like the Muay Thai, they sit there and they go boom, and they kick all the way through the person, and 2 or 3 of those and the fight is done. So, let's look at this. How to set up a single leg using switch kick and punch. Alright, let's look at this. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to move around for this. We're just going to stay sort of in this jab range, okay? I'm going to do a little switch. Foot's already facing out. I'm just going to get here, disconnect and do a little push, okay? That's all I'm doing. And then I switch back. Here, push, switch back. I do that 3 times, okay? Just 3 switch kicks. On the 4th time, we're going to change it to a switch punch. Okay, so I'm here, I'm going to switch, and this time I'm going to punch, and now look where I get. Okay? So, what we're doing is making them think that every time I switch, a low kick's coming. So they start to get into a mindset of, okay, I'm going to check that low kick. I'm going to put my leg up. Okay, he checks it, and we connect on our shins. He blocks it. Okay, he checks it. Okay, he checks it. Boom, he just gives me that. Yeah. So for now, this person's not checking kicks. This person is doing the drill. Switch, rotate, bang. Switch, rotate, bang. You do that a couple times. Okay. On the last time, when you do switch, it becomes a punch, and you shoot in. Same thing as before. Or take this. I used to do this in kickboxing all the time. I used to sit here like this and go, whoop, whoop, and then I'd look down and I'd go, bang, and just pop the guy in the face every time. It's a sneaky little move. So we're here, whoa, okay. We're here, whoa. Little switch. Notice that my foot's facing out. Rotate, kick, and then, okay, getting in on that single. So all that is just, oh, that's all it is. That little switch, oh, and you go down. Okay. Scooping it up. It's a bit more advanced now. We're also managing the distance with this. Like, if this guy's walking me down a bit, boom. Telling him get away. Can even be that. Yep. Yep. Okay. Telling him get away. Alright. That's the drill. But don't move around for this. Don't move around. Just practice 3 switch kicks, then a switch punch, and a single leg pickup. Okay, let's do that. Or even getting around and getting that back. We're going to look at the slip. So what do I mean by the slip? So my opponent is, you can just jab here, okay? You jab? Yeah, so this is my head, okay? He's jabbing my head right now. If I slip, I'm slipping the jab. So, yep, you hit, punch my hand, pretend it's my head, yep, I slip it. Okay, so I slip to the outside. So it's just that oblique. Your obliques running up here. It's just like I'm doing a side crunch. Just getting my head off line. Okay, so I'm slipping the jab. This head movement. Yeah, so when the jab comes in at my face, I slip. I like to put this hand up as well. So if I don't slip far enough and he catches me, yeah, it's just gonna glance off my hand. Some people even get that shoulder up too, you know? The way that I was taught this was like, we're coming in, we're slipping, and actually stepping. So we're here, I know he's measuring distance, he's measuring the jab, he's coming forward, I know he's just outside. When he gets close, I go in, I slip it, and I get in here. Either two things happen is I'm quick enough to get around to their back, or they start to square up, this arm comes over, and we get into like a clinch type situation here, and I'm in close. Okay? So if they get in on me, so if he gets in, it's either going to be they get all around to the back, we're going to have to, you know, fight from here, or if it happens, it gets in, and I can get in here, and we're in like a clinch situation, you know, maybe I'll pummel in here, we get back to like a 50-50. So those two things can happen. What we'll do now, we'll have a little look at a mat return. So let's say we get around to get their back. I'm here, I'm just outside the jabbing range. Okay, I know if I step forward, I can be cracked. But I time his jab, step, it's like a little step, I crunch with my obliques, get my head off the line, I step and I change levels a little bit, so not only is my head going this way, it's also going down, getting really slipping out. And I put this here for a little bit of extra protection. As I come round, I connect here. And I want to clasp my hands in a gable grip. So what is a gable grip? It's as if you have no thumbs. So not like this. You want to do like this. Okay? So we're here. I slip and get in. Gable grip. I'm going to come around to their back and I listen to their back. I listen to my opponent's back. Getting in nice and close. Okay? From here, we're just going to return them to the mat. So I'll step in and I use my squat power. I lift and I'm going to just tip them with my knee. So I lift, I want to tip over here. So I want to tip like there to turn them up just a little bit. Now I know I said before about reaching and things like that, but when you get taken down with this one, you as you go down, you don't want to reach with your one hand and stop yourself. You just want to accept it and then here, just accept it. Break your fall like this. It's okay. So the whole thing is, I'm here, I'm going to slip, and even if he doesn't throw the punch, you're already committed to the clinch, you just go. So even if we're here and I feel I can time it so you don't punch this time, I feel I can and get in, I'll get in. Even if they didn't throw the punch, I just fully commit. It works or it doesn't. Okay, gable grip. Come around to the back, listen to their back. Little skip in. Use my squat power. Tip. Let them down. From here, could be anything happening. In here, punching, whatever it is. Okay? So I'll show again. We're here. Here, clinch up, lift, and tip. Get in on them, like so. You're gonna finish in like a turtle. Here, where we could be hammer fist, could be punches in here. Alright? So they're gonna turtle up. Question?
How come, like, it might be a dumb question.
No dumb questions.
Why are we trying to get them to the ground? Because the jiu-jitsu base?
We're jiu-jitsu professionals.
Yes.
Yeah? This guy's a striker. I'm a professional jiu-jitsu guy. Once I get him on the ground, in a dominant position, this is where I can do the punishment, do the damage to the back, start to sink in some chokes. You know? This type of thing. You're in a jiu-jitsu gym, jiu-jitsu guy, get them on the ground. Get them on the ground, choke them out, break their arm, break their shoulder, break their leg, whatever. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I tell you something else about fighting on the ground as well? Think about throwing a javelin. How do you throw a javelin? How do they throw it? They do this. And you see it and it goes like 50 meters. Okay, imagine you had to throw a javelin from here. How far do you think it would go? Not that far. I can't generate any power here. So if I'm the bad guy and I'm on the ground, I'm trying to generate power to punch someone, very hard, very hard. You've only, up here, to generate power, you've got your foot, you've got your knee, you've got your hip, you've got your shoulder, you've got your elbow, you've got your wrist. You can generate so much power. From here, you take all that away. You've just got an arm. Yeah, go ahead.
And would you say that's like the upright position of trying to throw a punch for like 99% of people is like where the majority will just play and be comfortable, and as soon as it changes to a different,
as soon as it hits the ground, I'm down here, imagine me down here trying to punch someone. You have nothing here. Imagine being on your back trying to punch someone. You don't have any room to do anything. So when we get people on the ground, we do that in jiu-jitsu because it takes away any advantage they have standing up. It takes away a lot of their power if I'm a very small person. It takes away a lot of their ability to knock you out or to do big time damage. Yeah, make sense? Yeah. That's true for like MMA as well. You see it, classic striker versus grappler matchup. Grappler gets him on the ground. That's how it goes. Yeah? So I'll show one more time. So we're here. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna slip, I time it. Come around to the back. If you don't want to lift your partner, if you got sore or something, or your partner says, don't take me down today, just stop here. Or you can get in underneath. Use your squat power, don't use your back. Use your squat power, lift, little tap. And just finish over here on the ground. Okay? Let's do that, let's slip. Or if you're the bad guy, you're allowed to do this now. You're allowed to flick your jab and swat your friend like they have a fly on their head. You're allowed to do this. Just a little flip. Yeah? Okay? Stay there. Okay, it doesn't hurt. It's alright. But now we're going to make it real. Now there's consequences. Okay? Embarrassment. It's very embarrassing. Is that embarrassing? It's very embarrassing to allow someone to swat your head. So, and I don't want to see anything like this. Okay? But it's just like a little, whoop, just soft wrist, pop. Just pop them on the head. Okay, you can slip if you want. You can slip. Okay? If you didn't slip, I would have slapped him on the forehead. So if you're the bad guy now, you're allowed to just flick him, just a little tap on the head. No eyeballs. This is not John Jones. We're not here like this. I just want to see you try to tap them on the forehead. Let's make it a little bit more real. Okay, go.
It's gonna be worse now.
We looked at a lot. I got cover. So we looked at distance management. Manage the distance, manage the damage. In general, hands up. Yep. Out here, very safe. In this zone here, I'm able to be punched, kicked, knocked out. Very dangerous. In here or in here, super safe. Like being in the eye of the storm. So we looked at managing the distance with our opponent pressuring us. Let's just repeat what it was. It was back here. I'm staying outside. I'm in the jab range. I know if he takes one more step, I can be knocked out. Yeah, so I'm staying just outside of that jab range. Yeah, looking at getting in on a double leg. We looked at setting up from the southpaw. Yeah, when they have the southpaw. Yeah. We looked at fundamental striking ideas. Yeah, whoever is outside the foot here wins the battle because their rear side attacks, their power attacks are very close. Okay, being out here, too far. Too far away. We looked at using that to set up an overhand and coming here and see. Then we looked at using strikes to set up from orthodox to orthodox. Here, boom, the switch kick and the switch punch and setting up the signal. Then slipping the jab. So my opponent goes to throw the jab, I come in and I take their back. All safe ways, safer ways to get to the clinch. So next week we'll look at probably two things. We'll pick it up from this type of 50-50 clinch situation. Okay, so what happens when I get in and I didn't get a takedown, I didn't get that back? So maybe that could be something like I slip the jab, I go to get in, he recalculates, comes in, starts to pummel. We start getting a situation like this. Over and unders. Alright? We'll look at some options here and we'll look at some other options. We might look at some options as well against the wall or against the cage, because then everything changes. Everything changes. Okay? And we'll also look at some groundwork. So taking the fundamentals that we apply on our feet to the ground, which would be in here. I'm super safe. Well, much safer than what I would be at arm's length. So being so close, I'm like in the eye of the storm. Okay? In here, very dangerous. Can be knocked out. Or out here. Okay? Much safer. So we'll look at some fundamental defenses on the ground and maybe getting back to standing or finding ways to submit our opponent on the ground. But using those same principles about distance management. Okay? Any questions? All pretty good? Okay, 1, 2, 3, done.